tonight with lows around 60 under variably cloudy skies. Mostly sunny and warm Wednesday and Thursday. Highs middle to upper 80s, possibly 90s. In the cities right now, we've got mostly clear skies and a temperature of 83 degrees. You're tuned to the non-commercial public broadcast service of the Minneapolis Public Schools. This is KBEM FM Minneapolis, 24-hour public radio, located at 88.5 on your FM dial. At the tone, the time.
On the stage, you see the Board of Education and other guests. Starting off with Mrs. Nancy Atkinson as chairperson, Robert Christensen, vice chairperson, Mrs. Nancy Gleason, James D. Moe, Mrs. Mary Lou Brookline, George Height, Mrs. Sarah Jones, and Dr. Ralph H. Lieber as superintendent, and also James L. Kabaka as principal.
the audience please rise and join in singing the national anthem with Robert Peterson?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening. As I passed out of the doors of Edina High School for the final time as a student on Tuesday, I was reflecting on the past 13 years. What did I gain from my years here? What did Edina High School mean to me? I finally decided that the most important and memorable part of my high school career has been the people. It is not the books and tests that are primary in our memories, but the friends we have made, the people we have met, and the relationships we have formed. All of our experiences form a base from which we grow. This does more to prepare us for life than any quiz or formula can. As the final bell rang on Tuesday, there were a wide variety of feelings expressed by those of us passing on from high school. For many, this is a time of extreme relief at having finally finished and surviving the final few hectic weeks. But at the same time, it is a nostalgic, even sad period of our lives. Graduation is an end to an era. Our lives will never be the same, and planning what we're going to do with the next 60 or so years can be both an intriguing and frightening experience. Change is one of the most difficult things in life, but is also beneficial and even essential to intellectual and emotional growth. Apprehension about the future is natural, but don't let it hold you back from new experiences. By keeping a youthful hope and positive mindset, we will be able to best deal with the future. An open mind is one of the biggest assets that a person can acquire. Biases and opinions are roadblocks that close us off from many experiences. Things usually end up being different in reality than we expect in our minds. As we set out on a new era as adults, we must look ahead with anticipation, but take today what today has to offer us. By hurrying to get someplace, we are often disillusioned when we arrive, and in our haste, we have missed much along the way. Today, the world today presents us with many challenging, exciting options, and is at the same time a very troubled, sobering place. However, our backgrounds and experiences have made us worthy to stand up and face these problems created by former generations and heaped upon our shoulders. It seems unfair to have to start our lives off with burdens, and it is. Regardless, we are left with two options: dealing with these problems of the world or passing them on to our children. Let us not be the continuation of a downward cycle to destruction, but let us join together and solve our troubles. Keep in mind that the power of the individual is incredible when focused in the right direction. Never demean your worth by saying that you really don't matter, but be yourselves and do what you believe in, and your presence will be noticed and respected. We must use our talents to take advantage of what the world offers, to not only better ourselves, but share ourselves with all humanity. We have a moral obligation as citizens of this planet to keep thinking and not turn our backs on the world. Our school, our city, our country is no better than any other, the difference being only that we have had more advantages than other people. By forgetting others, we cheat only ourselves and our future. This country was based on the ideals of freedom and equality, so we must use what we have to offer in order to make these ideals realities. The responsibility may seem huge, but we are ready for it, and we must take it. Attack everything with the youthful vigor that has brought us to this day. One of the strongest characteristics of this community is its commitment to quality in all that it does. This has made us what we are, but once we start believing that we are the best, we will lag behind. Continue to pursue excellence, but to not dwell in it. Go forth into the community of the world and do the great works that the Edina High School class of 1985 is capable of. I say goodbye now, and good luck to the class of 1985. And here's to what you were, what you are, and what you will become. Thank you.
As I sat down to write my commencement address, I spent endless hours contemplating the words I wanted to say today to our class, the class of 1985. I definitely decided that this task was by far the most difficult one I'd yet encountered at Edina High School. It even surpassed those sociology term papers from Mrs. Skibby. I continued thinking about what to say, and I considered a number of approaches. First, I thought I could take all of you on a stroll with me down memory lane. You remember those first days of school with your mittens hooked onto your sleeves? And those wonderful memories from recess when the boys would chase the girls around the playground? And junior high, when we swarmed outside the varsity football games. Then being a big sophomore and surviving your first high school kiss in health class with Resusci Annie. And finally, becoming seniors and ruling the Commons, despite a small challenge from the junior girls last fall. But I decided against that approach because, although most of you remember these events, some do not. For not everyone shares identical memories from their childhood. So then I thought, okay, I'll tell everyone that graduation is a time to stop all the people who have helped us along the way. Parents, friends, teachers, administrators, and the boss. But I feel as though each person must decide individually about whom he or she wishes to thank. Personally, I'd like to thank all of the above, but each one of you must decide for yourself. I also considered one more approach to this speech, and that is to compare life to a mountain and suggest that after a hard climb, when you hit that summit, or graduation in this case, it actually marks the beginning of another challenge. Or another comparison, in which life is like the weather, beautiful some days, cold and hazy others, or partly cloudy. But once again, I find that our class, 600 and some individuals, can each relate to their own personal analogy. Because for some, high school is the peak of the mountain of education. And for others, each day he or she is alive is a sunny one, even if that day includes taking a Mr. Ludi econ test. So now I come to the point of my address by process of elimination. The very reason I did not use those other approaches is that each person here, underneath the superficial similarities, is a unique individual. Because of that fact, we must be able to make our own decisions throughout life about what is right or wrong for us. And although the decisions to be made vary, from deciding whether or not to go to that 6-hour class on a sunny day, to deciding whether or not you should throw that kegger when your parents are out of town, to deciding what you're going to do with your life after graduation, each person must make his or her own choices. For some, making independent decisions is old business, but for others, the first is yet to be made. As I see it, although we are all different, every person here tonight with one of these cute little hats on has made one similar decision, and that is to be a graduate of Edina High School. So now that we have finally found something we all have in common, let's look at something else each one of us shares. That is the opportunity to create our own future. The key to deciding about your future is to make a decision with which you are happy. And I mean you. Don't go to that big-name school just because Daddy wants you to. And don't forget your values because someone else has. We must each establish our own goals and the means by which we are going to achieve them. And once we have done that, we must stand by our choices. Life is full of decisions, and in order for us to be happy, we must make the right ones. I think the decision that all of us share tonight, being a member of Edina High School's class of 1985, is a great one. I hope it has brought to you the numerous joys and lasting memories it has to me. I wish you all the best of luck in the future, and may you be happy with your decisions. Thank you.
Good evening, graduates, faculty, board members, parents, and guests. I was honored when Mrs. Atchison invited me to say a few words to you this evening. The procession, the band, the chorus, and these two excellent speeches by Tim and Martha have reminded me what wonderful occasions graduations are and what a pleasure it is for me to play a role in this ceremony. When I asked Mr. Sabalka what my topic should be, he said that it was up to me, but whatever I had to say, I should be brief. Graduates, if you will, please remember the short duration of this speech when I am perched over the dunk tank later on this evening. Your bad aim and compassion will be appreciated. Getting back to Mr. Sabalka, one thing I learned in school was to obey the principal. And since I consider myself still in school, I will be brief. I am still in school, even though my formal education ended many years ago. If you reflect on that statement, you will perceive that we are all still in school, for life is a learning process. What are you celebrating this evening, and where do you go from here? It has been said by more persons than I can count that a graduation is a celebration of an end and a celebration of a beginning. You are concluding one phase of your learning experience. For some of you, the structured learning environment ended on Tuesday. For others, you are years away from that event. At this time, it is really immaterial which category you fall into. You are all at a benchmark in your lives. From this point forward, your future educational opportunities and what you make of them will depend upon the foundation which you have obtained in part from this school. The celebration this evening has a dual purpose. It is to recognize your accomplishments and achievements. They are important and a measure of your success. It marks an end to a structure imposed upon you by your parents, teachers, and others. It is also to recognize the fact that you are about to embark upon the next phase of your learning experience, hence the word commencement. The second part of my rhetorical question was, where do you go from here? You are beginning that phase of your lives for which we have been preparing you, your teachers, your parents, your friends. That is to enable you to make your own way from this point forward. You are about to enter the real world. Whether you make the most of those opportunities or your opportunities in the future is up to you. We are available to help, counsel, and give you the benefit of our experiences. But in the final analysis, you must make the decisions. Take the responsibility and continue to learn. Hopefully, we, your parents, teachers, and friends, have taught you well, and you are prepared to make the most of each and every opportunity that comes to you. To Ted and his classmates, go with good fortune and with our love and affection. Thank you.
Members of the platform, guests and parents, and especially to you, the graduates. This is a moment that your parents thought would never come. Your graduation. You knew it. You knew exactly what it would take to complete high school. For some, it meant hours of study and constant raising of standards, taking the AP course rather than the normal fare. For others, it meant jerking some things this way and that, the appropriate con job on teachers, fellow students, even an assistant principal, and I have the feeling that on occasion, even your parents. But whichever one of these categories you fall into, and perhaps you incorporate a bit of each, you did it. You learned how to pace yourself, how to prioritize your time, and for better or for worse, how to maneuver through the early life with its pluses and minuses. You are here tonight as graduates of Edina High School, having formally completed 13 years of schooling, and I hope some learning. Yet while we say this is a completion, or use some other euphemism such as the beginning of a new chapter, you are now adults, charting new waters, I always enjoy that one, crossing over the bridge of life, etc., etc. Whatever we say about going forward or moving on or the future, remember, we can never say goodbye. Certainly our physical self might be somewhere else, returning home now and then for good meals, for love, for care, for money, and for money. And certainly the place or places where we will have our major experiences leading to our personal growth, will be somewhere else other than Edina. That location may be college, it may be the armed services, or it may be a job that takes us elsewhere. Yes, it is true, we are in one sense saying goodbye, or at least mouthing the words that say goodbye. But our impact, our presence with family members, friends, or even faculty at school just can't be erased like a chalk stick figure on the blackboard. You have shared yourself with others. You have shared your joys and doubts, a host of emotional states, numerous growing pains and stages from the naive kindergartner to the flaky junior high school student, and now to the self-adorned brilliant graduate. You have shared yourself by being, by occupying space, your bed at home, your desk in the third row at school, perhaps a seating preference at a house of worship. But in no uncertain terms, you have caused things to happen and to change. Nothing is now the same as it would have been had you not have been here. Have any of you ever seen the movie classic, It Happened One Night? Perhaps you remember it. Jimmy Stewart was a banker who loaned money to those in great need. He thought his presence didn't mean too much, but when, through a miracle, he had a chance to view his town without his presence, without his ever existing, it was a vastly different place. Relationships formerly pleasant were strained or non-existent. Buildings that were not. Others that were not, were. The whole atmosphere of the town had changed. Now, I'm not suggesting we will ever have had this great impact, but an impact we will have had. You have made a difference, and by making a difference, you have become different, often in small ways. A change of makeup, a different hairstyle, an attitude toward family or self, or a friend, or even a change in values. But change we do as we meet and engage ourselves with others, just as others change from meeting us. So to each one of you, I say, you do matter, you do count, you do leave an indelible impression that has changed all of us. So now, as they say, go forth, seek new challenges, but never say goodbye.
I'm honored to present the class of 1985. Those young men and young women who will receive diplomas tonight have completed courses required by the state of Minnesota and the Edina Board of Education. To Mrs. Atchison and other members of the school board, I certify that these seniors are eligible to participate in commencement. Mrs. Atchison will accept the class.
I am honored indeed to accept this class of 1985. And Mr. Sabalka, on behalf of the community, the parents, and the graduates, may I thank you and all your staff for the part that you've played in bringing these people to this time. Graduates, my own congratulations to all of you. May you go forward with hope, and may you always walk in peace and love.
Each year, the senior class, through its class officers, selects 8 staff members who they honor by asking them to assist with their commencement. This year, the Grand Marshals, who they thus honor, are teachers Mr. Beaver and Mrs. Jensen. Their line advisors, who will read their names of graduates, are in the first set Mr. Everett Anderson and Mr. Stotts. In the second set of line advisors, Mrs. Heyer and Mr. Regal. In the third set of line advisors, who will read the names of graduates, Mr. Lingus, and Mr. Welch. I would entreat all those in the audience to hold their applause in fairness to each graduate so the name can be heard clearly and distinctly without interruption. We will applaud and show our jubilation at the close of the ceremony. Now, one other matter. Our pride in this class stems from many sources, but one of them is the manner in which this class has responded to at least 4 charity drives throughout the year. Tonight we will recognize and honor one student who contributed most. We do this by having him be first in this line of graduates of 1985. The student is Scott Vaubel.
Go ahead.
We're number 1!
Ted William Brown.
Stephen S. Herod.
Stephen John Carmichael.
William Mark Lambert.
Stephen Edward Culbert.
Peter Allen McAleck.
Christopher David Davis.
Mark Robert Shufflebine.
Thomas Thaddeus Warner.
Locke Tong.
Eric Paul Grund.
Dean Murray Williamson.
Stephen Emmett Halloran.
Jason Anthony Dunn.
Scott Dennis Harold.
Joseph Anthony Manley.
Robert John Hartman.
Roderick L. Oury.
Trevor P. Hilt.
Clayton David Tenquist.
Brian Laren Hahn.
Michael Jeffrey Tuttle.
Darren Keith Johnson.
David F. Benson.
Gregory Elliott Keir.
Timothy Warren Bergstrom.
Mark Owen McConville.
Michael Eric Friedberg.
Ryan Edward Schwartz.
Robert L. Morelli, Jr.
James William Sullivan.
Paul Richard Lewis.
Eric Christopher Todges.
Charles Lim.
Brian John Timerson.
David Richard Brooks, Jr.
Daniel Thomas Willett.
John Edward Skoglund II.
Michael Allen Lang.
Kurt Benjamin Schwartz.
Kurt James Reichert.
Lam Chong.
Philip Anthony Snyder.
Jeffrey Allen Toper.
Lawrence Eubank Williams.
Bradley B. Johnson.
Jerry S. Abramson.
Jasbir S. Brar.
Jason J. Bush.
Phoebe Alice Rankin.
Betty Eva Pora.
Kimberly Ruth Robinson.
Maria Eugenia Vargas.
Jennifer Edna Sackman.
Elizabeth Linnea Velick.
Lisa Joe Silverman.
Lisa Wong.
Tracy Steinberg.
Anne Marie Burke.
Martha Tammy Usum.
Stephanie Ann Blue.
Jessica Young.
Carolyn Marie Charleston.
Lisa Meredith Favero.
Holly Lynn Gustafson.
Elena Banakis.
Anne Margaret Mila.
Kelly Jean Benson.
Christy Sue Peterson.
Carol Marie Casbaum.
Lindsay J. Rees.
Christine Mary Tierney.
Jean Ann Hartnett Schaefer,
Jennifer Ann Dukar,
Gabrielle Ann Charley,
Deborah Jean Eichhoff,
Nina Beth Weinberg,
Tara Jean Gowdy,
Allison G. Waddell,
Nancy Lee Pearson,
Stephanie F. Abram,
Margaret Lynn Stengel,
Kelly Ann Barber,
Diane Christine Weber,
Kathy Lynn Carlone,
Wendy Lee Anderson,
Annika Anna Lena Eklund,
Audrey Jean Carlone,
Diana Elizabeth Harrison,
Cassandra Kathleen Foley,
Anna Birgitta Henriksen,
Pamela Olivia Kreitzer,
Cynthia Lynn Kaplan,
Janet Marie Sentman,
Kristen Ann Creeder,
Melanie Sue Einzig,
Susan Barbara Lennick,
Amy Fox Poslin,
Carol Ann Popowich,
Mimi Bay Roach,
John Albert Litsky Jr.,
Peter Charles Dorsey,
James Gifford Rogers Lynn,
Eric James Hale,
Thomas Hagan Rogers Lynn,
Peter Lawler Mullen,
Stephen James Little,
Bruce Leiter Norstag,
William M. Lonergan,
Terrence J. O'Brien,
Frank Curtis McKean,
Paul Lawrence O'Connor,
Brian Russell Page,
Timothy Michael O'Hearn,
Michael Fine Fannenstein,
Brent Michael Olson,
Gaius Brandt Schlosser,
Craig Cameron Peterson,
Peter Erlen Stenowen,
Alexander Chris Passus,
Eric Swilden,
Tim Gerald Reifschneider,
Jonathan C. West,
Fritz Sanders Richards,
Michael Douglas Witham,
Eric Thomas Reese,
Mark Richard Amon,
Jeffrey Martin Solwald,
Antai Suleiman Bilgatai,
Edward Thomas Whitkop,
Scott Livingston Bowles,
Gregory Scott Freeman,
Troy Joseph Caron,
Bradley John Berge,
Jeffrey Keith Lander,
Peter Daniel Christie,
Michael A. Tennant,
John Patrick Duffy,
David W. Anderson,
Paul Lewis Jern,
James Robert Barnard,
Peter D. Osinicki,
Stephen Donald Benson,
Philip Andrew Samau,
Patrick John Boylan,
Stephen James Carlson,
Robert David Bueller,
Troy Gavin Sinekin,
Paul Nelson Coonrod,
Peter Allen Vidmar,
Kent C. Kutelenk,
Peter Paul Wagoner,
Danica Jane Packard,
William Alexander Wright,
Johanna Elizabeth Peter,
David Richard Allen,
Stacy Ray Phillips,
Victoria Lynn Bowles,
Catherine Ann Ransom,
Christine Irene Bringold,
Ann Stacy Romine,
Elizabeth Ann Campbell,
Jean Marie Roscom,
Julie Ann Chapman,
Deborah Ann Sheldon,
Jessica Dawn Christensen,
Kristen Maria Stoller,
Stacy Renee Crane,
Sandra K. Walter,
Amy Sue Feinberg,
Penny Patricia White,
Alicia Ray Frank,
Jennifer Marie Welter,
Lisa Rochelle Friedman,
Karen Tracy Althauser,
Heidi Alyssa Hagford,
Catherine Rose Donahue,
Kelly Nadine Hoffman,
Susan Elizabeth Ike,
Christine Sauter Hoffman.
Deborah Lynn Frutel.
Jennifer Lynn Howes.
Carrie Jean Nolan.
Patricia Ann Hubbard.
Anya Birgit Hamel.
Lisa Mary Hiddle.
Marisa Esther Krogsang.
Janae Louise Johnson.
Michelle Ann Oliphant.
Lisa Inger Jewell.
Bonnie Ann Reed.
Kathy Lee Clyden.
Susan Jennifer Adams.
Tony Lynn Mansky.
Lisa Ann Amsden.
Patricia Marie McCoy.
Helen Maria Basil.
Sally Ann McGlone.
Karen Elizabeth Belrose.
Jill Kendra Rader.
Cara Leah Benson.
Christine Elizabeth Richards. Kelly Ann Stelberg. Gina K. Stocky.
Go ahead, Laura.
David Burton Linné.
Adam H. Rubin.
Paul Edmund McElligott.
David Mark Soley.
Robert T. O'Neill.
Norman Wales Spear.
Stephen John Oberanger.
Benjamin Keyworth Wagner.
Todd Allen Peterson.
Evan Eugene Anderson.
Thomas Robert Plowman.
Mock Aram.
Brendan Patrick Reardon.
James Arthur Beecher.
Todd Michael Rector.
Thomas R. Bulford.
George L. Reynolds III.
Todd Robert Bush.
Kenneth Paul Robinson.
Stephen D. Bounds.
Jeffrey Michael Russell.
Alexander Stephen Caldow.
Christopher Allen Schmidt.
John Condon.
James Leonard Schroeder.
Eric Harmon Delegard.
Michael Scott Wolf.
Michael Scott Edlund.
Philip James Young.
Paul Joseph Ewing Jr.
Peter James Boyle.
John Edward Four.
Bradley James Billings.
Reed Thomas Gilkey.
Peter Sam Cholas.
Matthew Dale Getz.
Donald Arthur Curtis.
Michael A. Ganney.
Mark James Linskog.
Stephen Charles Moore.
Peter Ann Lunkley.
Charles Joseph Hurley.
Brian Mates.
Jeffrey Lyman Johnson.
Matthew James Fole.
Matthew Robert Krebsbach.
Catherine Valberg Johnson.
Peter Sunki Kwan.
Kristen K. Kriesel.
Dwight Charles Larson.
Laura Jean McNaught.
John Courtney Latterell.
Michelle Marie Miller.
Jody Lynn Warden.
Elizabeth M. Ott.
Lori Ann Abramson.
Maria Kathleen Porter.
Kristen Marie Andreessen.
Sarah Marie Reynolds.
Stephanie Ann Brennan.
Carrie Lynn Ryder.
Christine Grace Carlson.
Christine Marie Salmon.
Molly Elizabeth Carlson.
Elizabeth Reed Schwartz.
Christine Lee Cronstrom.
Kathleen Margaret Shady.
Diane Lynn Esau.
Anne Marie Stroh.
Vasiliki B. Gumas.
Paula Jean Farrows.
Jessica Lynn Hastings.
Abiami Olaide Ayayoga.
Nicole Suzette Hardy.
Catherine Scott Brown.
Nancy Ann Haver.
Laura Joanne Elmquist.
Jennifer Elizabeth Horn.
Patricia Quinn Franchosi.
Stephanie Ann Julick.
Melissa Ann Hale.
Nancy Louise Klug.
Jill Margaret Moser.
Stephanie Diane Kowalski.
Anne Marie Ingram.
Patricia Medell Lark.
Beth Ann Knight.
Lynn Ellen Larson.
Amy Marie Lee.
Laura Ann Limberis.
Kellyanne Marion Lindsay.
Christine Marie Lindman.
Heidi Roskep.
And Margaret Lishman.
Kathleen Ann Skoglund.
Laura Jo Lund.
Jonathan Blake Hess.
Annalisa Malaris.
Curtis Walden Johnson.
Renee Marie Oxborough.
Peter Andrew Johnston.
Todd Lynn Kane.
Ryan Chris Keelblock.
David John Bly.
Robert Edward Coop.
Alonso Bolaños Perez.
J. Michael Landon.
J. Christopher Borgeson.
Greg William Larson.
William B. Boris.
Michael James Mackey.
John Francis Dunsmore.
Vittorio Filippo Nisita.
Stephen Anthony Emmer.
Michael Kent Oakes.
Alan Martin Erickson.
Peter Gustav Opp.
Todd David Fogdahl.
David James Person.
Timothy Mullane Getton.
Robert N. Robertson.
Michael Grimet.
Valdez Andres Rosenthal.
Nicholas John Hauk.
Thomas C. Snook.
Kent Clifford Murray.
George Cross Van Dusen IV.
John David Hutemaker.
Paul Andrew Vandervoort.
William Francis Hurley. Thank you.
David George Wilharm.
Jason Andrew Inskeep.
Marty Lewis Nanny.
Toby Joyce.
Stephen Arthur Logan.
Thomas F. Keating IV.
Christopher Charles McCready.
Wade Keating.
Scott Jeffrey Peterson.
Thomas Walter Kraft.
Chad James Susie.
Andrew David Lanesbury.
Stephen Kittredge Anderson.
Eric Larson.
Frank J. Barnes.
Daniel Stephen Lennon.
Adrian Nemes Baccaras.
Sandra Lynn Beckley.
Gregory Ernest Brown.
Margaret Perry Beiswanger.
Kimberly Joy Calvert.
Linda K. Bittner.
Nancy A. Goldstein.
Patricia Ann Doherty.
Sarah Elizabeth Hayek.
Teresa Regina Hoffman.
Melissa Catherine Nelson.
Amy Bauer Kellogg.
Karen Marie Holm.
Sandra Jean Kness.
Molly Lee Hosnick.
Catherine Elizabeth Powell.
Jane Pierce Jacobson.
Lori Jean Raymond.
Sarah Elizabeth Johnson.
Lisa Isabel Shreyevich.
Jane Marie Kolsinski.
Ginny Ann Burkhart.
Diane Marie Meadley.
Elizabeth Dory Anderson.
Whitney Ann Miller.
Sally Ann Nauman.
Anne Eleanor Moe.
Kimberly Louise Bleemaster.
Anne Marie Pliska.
Erica Dawn Carroll.
Christine K. Quinn.
Julie Marie Idem.
Gretchen Ann Radloff.
Dina Eisenhuth.
Cynthia Ann Rivers.
Sharon Amy Gilfix.
Anne Marie Rizut.
Nancy J. Goblish.
Deborah Jean Smith.
Abigail Hayes.
Cordelia Allison Taylor.
Hiro Morisawa.
Catherine Mary Terwilliger.
Christy Lynn Nielsen.
Catherine Glenn Aldrich.
Anne Marie Nettle.
Amy Elizabeth Wigdahl.
Terry Lynn Helbush.
Patricia Marie Whalen.
Michelle L. Hauser.
Denise Marie Thomason. Jennifer Doman.
Christopher Paul Lipitsky. W. Morgan Harris. Christopher John Ryder. John David Montgomery. Stephen Thomas Sandilla. Patrick Lyle Nelson. Clark James Allen. John Harold Kaiser. Stephen Dwayne Anderson. Joseph Thomas Kelly. Gregory Thomas Boner. Michael John Lagario. Patrick Keith Scher. Bruce Douglas McAllister. John Charles Connell. Robert J. Meyer. Scott Michael Cooper. Michael Martin Ullman. Ross Robert Dalton. Curtis G. Peterson. Richard Philip Demi. Peter Anthony Foll. Kyle Bennett Dulac. David Franklin Price. Jason Dennis Elliott. Brian J. Rickenbach. Stephen John Enrico. Charles Edward Rogers. Richard Ives Geertsen Jr. Christopher Allen Rolfe. Eric Glorson. Theodore Lee Steinkamp Jr. Stephen M. Gottzecker. Thomas John Tyler. Randall David Gowan. Paul Herbert Syme. John Webb Hale. Ross John Topol. Craig Lawrence Hall. Lincoln Russell Wallace. Case Hilliard Hannon. Timothy P. Ward. David Michael Nye. David Brian Westgard. Robert Joseph Herber. David Richard Westfall. Suzanne Marie McDonald. Mark A. Burdick. Susan Patricia Oliver. David Bernard Bjorken. Esther Gretel Olson. Theodore John Christensen. Linda Schmelz. Catherine Ann Dill. Diane Carol Seberg. Julie Ann Gaida. Serene Susan Samard. Michael Carolyn Harris. Michelle Carolyn Harris. Nikki Speliopoulos. Julia Florence Fritz. Anne Catherine Yeager. Merritt Ann Trelstead. Allison Bailey. Okay. Joan Marie Abenanti. Jennifer Lynn Berg. Jennifer Beth Abram. Robin Lynn Busby. Kristen Ann Abelson. Kelly Ann Bach. Lauren Beth Orkin. Ann Elizabeth Fetzick. Amy Jo Carterell. Kari Lee Finberg. Jane Lee Christian. Ann Elizabeth King. Julian Meaning Crane. Melanie Elaine Masso. Kari L. Eide. Julie Ann Pfeiffer. Lisa Judith Ekstrom. Nicole Reynolds. Julie Michaelia Elliott. Noelle Christine Robichon. Martha Rose Goldberg. Suzanne Windsor Thorson. Carolyn Marie Heider. Lisa Dion Mason. Jane Frances Hamill. Amy Arnold. Brenda Kim Hamilton. Sandra Azar. Miriam Elizabeth Hill. Lavon C. Bigelow. Marla Sue Hughes. Cynthia Ann Bowen. Christy Ann Hutchins. Douglas A. Lewis. Sheila Marie Indahus. Paul Michael Martin. Susan Marie Kestner. Kendall William Palmer. Carrie Elizabeth Larson. Juha Pekka Rovinen. Catherine Marie Larson. Alan Edward Seaman. Christopher James Brown. Ward Harrison Sutton. Daniel Modowney. Matthew Zeus Suchek. Baird Mannion Little. Carl William Torp. Joel Ordell Osby. Andrew Carter Walquist. Alan James Peterson. John Charles Wander. Thomas John Worth. David E. White. Andy Thomas Fabian. Kurt J. Wolterstorff. Tyrus Lee Farley. Lucas E. Bolton. Jeffrey Gene Moody. Gary Stewart Francis Jr. John Dennison Carpenter. Kevin John Nagy. Kurt Thomas Eilers. Richard Andrew Adalin. James Michael Gonzalez. Peter Andrew Anderson. Gregory Paul Hughes. Stephen Michael Benz. Peter Coates. John Christopher Carlson. William Franklin Rickoff Jr. Robert Richard Derkey. Gregory Lee Rose. Christopher Francis Ebert. Michael David Wackel. Scott Arthur Fisher. Jeffrey Scott Wood. Mark Quinn Fromke. David Eston Anderson. Timothy Neal Fulford. Mark Michael Dubray. Daniel Herman Hamray. Bruce Edward Patch. Susan Bunt. David Aspie Droll. Julie Maria Green. John Philip Gendrell. Susan Dorrit Murray. Richard Jason Hollett. Sarah Carter McDavid. Christopher John Kemp. Nicola Diane Minot. Pasquale J. Vivers. Suzanne Elizabeth Bodine. Joanne Frances North. Kristen Elizabeth Elvine. Sarah Jane Hansen. Jennifer Ewald. Julie Christine Anderson. Catherine LaJean Fenema. Bonnie June Burke. Isabella Castellan. Anne Catherine Jacobson. Lisa Elaine Fisher. Jill Catherine Swenson. Heather Elizabeth Gilchrist. Kristen Renee Gross. Julia Catherine Hoygaard. Lori Ann Montgomery. Barbara Ann Huff. Carolyn Lee Nidal. Jolene Idell Jasper. Lori J. All. Mary Chris Kulacki. Tracy Michelle Butt. Kirsten Lynn Lungard. Jennifer Loren Crouch. Jean K. O'Neill. Sarah Lee Greenfield. Sarah Ann Stiles. Kristen Marjorie Hagan.